What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Boss Life with Bonds. Instagram start was a little delayed. Today we're talking about why you have to keep starting over. And you already know I'm going to be talking to my entrepreneurs. I'm also going to be talking to those who are on their weight loss, fitness journey, personal development journey. And I feel like this is something that resonates across the board for all of us. So this episode is for you if you feel like every time you turn around, you have to start over. Every time you turn around, you're looking for another coach, you're looking for another program, you're looking for another system. You keep pouring your time into things and it just seems to never get you the results that you were wanting. So I want to ask you something. If that's you, if you feel like you are always starting over, grab a pen and paper. You already know I'm going to give you some homework or at least some thought-provoking questions to ask yourself. So if you find yourself in that situation where you're always, and I was definitely here. So this is coming from experience. I'm not preaching at you. I'm learning with you. If you find that you're always investing in a new coach or always, dear God, why won't my phone on Facebook just stay online? I don't know what's going on here. If I need to switch networks, let's see, not really sure what's going on with my network on Facebook, but we're just going to keep persevering. This is going to be on the podcast, so you can tune in and check this out on the Boss Life with Bonds. And if internet signal is acting up on Facebook, you can come over to Instagram and watch this live. Okay, so if you feel like you're one of those people that's always starting over, I want you to ask your Facebook. You're about to piss me off. Okay, so ask yourself, what kind of ads do you get attracted to? Or what kind of marketing grabbed your attention? Or look at the last few purchases in respect to this conversation, in respect to your personal growth, your business, your development. What were the ads or what were the things that finally got you to hit the buy button and give something your credit card? Think about it, because this is going to really give you some insight as to why you keep starting over. Are you the type of person that is caught by things like fast, easy, done for you? If those phrases are ones that done for you is my new favorite, especially when it comes to business. Oh, fuck off with this whole done for you crap. But anywho, if those are the words that catch your attention, this is probably why you are always starting over. So I'm going to give you some insight. Last week, I was hosting a networking event for TNT, Try New Things. We meet bi-weekly on Tuesdays at Serendipity Labs downtown. It's for entrepreneurs, young professionals, and anyone just looking to strengthen their network and grow and build community. And one of the young ladies was letting me know that she is a health coach, an aspiring health coach. And we talked about her social media strategy, which was, I wouldn't say non-existent, but it like most of us, it's not there. You're still at the throwing shit at the wall phase. And she said that she didn't like being on social media. She didn't want to have to go live. She didn't want to have to post this, that, and the other. And I was like, well, honey, how do you start to grow your business if you're not going to use social media? Do you plan on paying for marketing and for other things? And her response was, well, the program that I'm in gives me done for you templates, so I can just post those. And I looked at her like, boo-boo. There are people, like myself even, who are out here going live, who are making reels, who are running workshops, who are showing on a consistent and regular basis. How will you compete with people showing up as themselves who have done the work, and you're just posting a done for you template that not for nothing, if you bought it from somewhere, that means other people have it. So now you just kind of blend in. And she thought about it and she's like, I'm gonna have to think about that. And I was like, yeah, please do. I've been in this space for the past several years since online coaching really blew up during the pandemic. And I can tell you that the done for you way of running your business is probably not going to last. Now, on the fitness version, we have that same thing a lot where people are often internet just keep going on and off on Facebook. I'm about to throw the phone through the mother freaking window. Anywho, we see this a lot with weight loss where it's like, meal plans, right? Everybody, it used to be such a thing where if you said meal plan, oh, forget about it. They're signing up. Meal plan is all you had to say to sell a fitness program because everybody says, oh, I've got the workout parts down. It's just the meal planning. I hate to burst your bubble, but unless you have worked with a coach before, trained, or done some sort of weightlifting in your high school days, you probably don't know what the fuck you're doing in the gym. So whenever people say that, like, oh, I don't need the workouts, I just need the nutrition or whatever. I just need you to tell me what to eat, or I just need you to tell me what to do. That mindset is why you have to keep starting over. First of all, it is drenched in ego and pride. I'm not going to stay here too long because this isn't the point of today's podcast. Talking, guys, it's because the Facebook feed stops and is reloading, and it's really irking me. Oh my gosh. But anywho, I want you to stop and think about your job that you do. I know I say this a lot, but I'm going to drill it into your heads so y'all get it. I want you to think about the job that you perform. Some of you went to school to learn how to do this job. And some of you have spent years perfecting your craft. And it would feel real shitty, right? If someone walked up to you and was like, yeah, I can do this. Just show me what to do. Like an artist. Imagine me walking up to Lex Diaz, who makes beautiful art, literally, my homegirl Lex Diaz. And imagine me saying, oh, I can do what kind of art you do just because I watched her, right? That's kind of an insult, right? Forget the part about insult, though. It's super prideful to just assume that, okay, well, this is just so easy, so I should be able to do it. All I need is you to tell me what to do, and I got it. So it's a little egoic in nature, and it's also why you have to keep starting over. So point number one, if you are someone who has to keep starting over, check your ego. You may have an issue. You may have so many issues stemming from your ego. For example, if the reason why you tend to gravitate towards things like done for you or easy, just follow these steps, or this blueprint, anything called blueprint. I have a course called the Boss Life Blueprint. Don't come for me. But what I am saying is that if you are attracted to things that promise quick results in a short amount of time, or no work, lose weight without working, or build your business in your sleep, or things like that, you may have your ego may be coming through. And how so? Well, because if you can't take 6 months to focus on building your business, or 6 months to commit to your, are determined and just, convinced that you can and should be able to produce a miracle in 90 days or less, and anything else less than that is unsatisfactory, you, boo-boo, have an ego problem. Okay? Because that means that you think that you can do something that it takes people years to master in a few months. That's crazy. It's also why you have to keep starting over, because you are putting on your plate and you are putting expectations on yourself that don't really need to be there. So if you're one of those people that is always starting and stopping, I want you to check your ego. Why do you think it has to be done in 3 months? Why do you think it has to be done so quickly? Okay. But on the flip side, on the mother trucking flip side, it could be the exact opposite. It could also be a sign on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, go ahead and slide on over to Instagram, because the Instagram feed hasn't been interrupted. And since I've started, the Facebook feed has told me it's searching for my network about 50 times. Anywho, one of the reasons why you are probably always looking for the next thing is because you don't trust yourself and you are outsourcing your wisdom, meaning we all are connected to the divine, to God, to source energy, to infinite wisdom. We are. But so many of us have lost that connection. I'm not going to spend too much time on that on this episode, but we all really know what to do. We really do. We just have to slow down and be able to tap into that place. The problem is most of us don't slow down long enough so that we can tap into that wisdom. And then not only that, we don't trust our wisdom. We don't believe that we're going to follow through. So we outsource our wisdom to a coach who says, if you just follow my template, everything will be perfect for you. And when it's not, we're like, well, shit, I knew it. I knew nothing would work for me. A lot of it also comes from you underestimating your own ability for things to work out. We get so overwhelmed with the idea of it not working out, again, ego, that we can on someone else. So if you hire a coach and their promise is that you'll make this much money in a certain amount of time, or you'll lose this much weight in a certain amount of time, if it doesn't work, you now get to blame that coach. So it's honestly, it's underestimating yourself. It's having a scapegoat. And then the last thing that I would say it is it's just lazy sometimes. It is lazy. When I no longer click and buy things that say done for you business templates, because in my head, I'm like, my business is my brand, is my voice, is my passion, is my vision. And so for me to have someone say, here, buy this, I'm like, okay, so that means that I don't trust what I'm going to put out there to be able to attract the right person for my business, right? Clients, right? And from a weight loss perspective, This is one of my favorite topics to touch on. When you say, I just want a meal plan, I just want a workout plan, I just want this, first of all, you're taking the human aspect out of coaching. You're not paying for a plan. You can Google that shit online all day, every day. You're paying for someone's process and their patience and their perspective. Ooh, I need to write that down. The 3 Ps that you get from a coach. Their distinct process, their, what did I say? Perspective. And I forget the other one. I'm sure somebody will tell me and I'll just listen to it again. But nonetheless, that's what's happening. So to recap, for those of you just tuning in, if you find yourself always starting over, check yourself and see what ads you're usually attached to. Are you attracted to the quick fix ads? Are you attracted to things that say done for you? Are you attracted to things that have a time limit on them? And if so, this is a patience. I thought it was patience. Thank you, Christine. So when you're working with a coach or someone, you're going with them for their process, their patience with you, and their perspective. Now, on the other hand, how can you go from being a mindless consumer? Because that's what I'm going to categorize that first group of people I was just talking about. The ones that see, oh, 11, the cheapest price, so they buy it. Or, oh, this is promised in 90 days, so they buy it, right? It's like something triggers in your head. Like you see cheap, you see fast, you see easy. Because in our Western culture, we are driven by convenience. We are driven by convenience and comfort. And we end up stopping before we reach our goals because it gets inconvenient, like I was talking about on last night's live, or because it's uncomfortable. And the truth is, when you stay in your zone of convenience, when you stay in your zone of comfort, that's when you become a mindless consumer. Now, how do you know if you're a mindless consumer? People that are on social media just to consume other people's posts. And I know that sounds mean because not everybody's on there. I don't expect everybody to post 100 times a day. That's crazy. And I get that for a lot of people, social media has replaced entertainment. However, I want to challenge you to not just be an innocent bystander and to not just be a mindless consumer. And what does that look like? Well, for one, when you're watching TV and you're just consuming TV, you're not really thinking. You're just consuming, right? And it's also very much distracting you from any sort of deep thought processes that could grow you in any way, shape, or form. You're just zoned out. So when you're on social media, instead of just mindlessly consuming stuff, pay attention to the people that you follow. I went through an unfollow spree last year where I started unfollowing all of the business coaches who were saying things that made me feel bad about my business. People that were saying, oh, if you're not charging this much, then you're doing it wrong. And if you're still doing sales calls at people, why are you wasting your time? You're doing it wrong. Have someone else do that for you. And there's nothing wrong with these things. This is how they sounded to me, though. If you're not doing it if you're posting 2 days a week, you're doing it wrong. If you're not posting 2 times a day, you're doing it wrong. If you're charging this, you're doing it wrong. And it got to the point where I was like, well, shit, what can I do right? And I realized that I was just mindlessly consuming all of these people's content and all of their ideas, even if their ideologies didn't line up with my own. And some of us, we have our heads so stuck in our phones, haven't done the due diligence of spending time with ourselves so that we can recognize what exactly is in alignment with our values. See, some of you are following accounts that when you take the time to research these people, they're not even in alignment with what you believe to be true, with what you value, and most importantly, they're not talking to you. So that is a huge part of this conversation about why you keep starting over, because you may be starting into programs and coaches and things that were not even intended for you. I'm going to give you a fitness example, and then I'll give you a business example. Fitness example of having to start over because you tried something that wasn't for you because you were mindlessly consuming. And an example of this is, let's say, a boot camp. Now, I shadowed in a boot camp for 2 or 3 days. First day, I knew it wasn't for me. But I was like, give it another try, Bonnie. But it wasn't for me because I'm very particular about clients doing form over how much weight they do. I would rather you perform a squat with full depth, full range of motion according to your body's ability, with your feet firmly planted on the ground without your heels coming up, without your knees caving in, without your back arching, without your back over rounding, with your core brace. I would rather clients perform beautifully perfect form squats than just go, yeah, add more weight. Yeah, do more reps. You only have 30 seconds. That's how people get injured. And so my first day as a shadow boot camp instructor, I'm not going to say the name of the place because they're really nice people, but it wasn't for me, was that I see them having women do jump squats. That's something I don't program anymore unless I know the client's history. Because if you've been amount of time or a short amount of time, let's go with that. Health history. Let's say that you've been obese for, like in my case, I had been light my whole life and then got heavy real quick. So when I did jump squats, my freaking ankles were screaming, right? Why? Because I'm a female that has been pregnant 4 times. And in those 4 pregnancies, no matter how far they were, the babies, especially my teenage pregnancies, when I didn't know I was pregnant, I was under eating. And so because I was under eating, and even if I wasn't, the baby's always pulling nutrients from the mother's body. So long story short, women who have had children tend to have osteoporosis a little bit more, tend to have more pores, sucking calcium out of their bones. And then also with the nursing, there's so many reasons why. So that the fact that women's bones are naturally a little bit more porous if they've had babies, and the fact that my bones have not had to carry a lot of weight because I was skinny my whole life, and then all of a sudden I gained 50 pounds, me jumping on these already frail bones that have not built up a tolerance to that weight caused me to have some serious ankle injuries. So as a coach, one of the things I don't do is prescribe jump squats to women who have had kids who may be overweight, and it's not necessary, right? So when I go into places like boot camps where I see them telling everyone, regardless of their history, their injuries, their weight, anything, do jump squats, do this, do that, do it real fast, sweat, rah, 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 burn calories, rah. If I was a client and I walked into a place like that, I would look around and be like, oh yeah, no, this isn't, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this. I don't want to get hurt. And they're yelling at me that I need to go harder, that I need to go heavier, that I need to go faster. That's doing due diligence, going in, trying something out, looking around and be like, yeah, this ain't for me. Due diligence, and this is a good one, when clients sign up with me and I'm like, I would like you to sign up for Crunch or for Planet Fitness. And they're like, well, I'm going to go to LA Fitness, or I'm going to go to this really fancy gym. And they get in there and they're like, Bonnie, I don't feel comfortable here. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, so why did you buy that gym membership? I told you which ones to go to. Oh, well, because this one looked better on the internet and all my friends go here. And I'm like, but do you feel as confident in the gym as your friends? No. I'm like, so why the fuck did you do that? It's all about being a conscious consumer, making educated guesses, doing research before you just start throwing your money out. This is going to prevent you feeling like, oh, I'm always starting over. You don't have to be always starting over. You can take your time. You can research things before you just hand over your money. But often what happens is we wait till we're in such a state of desperation that the right ad comes across our screen and our vision at the right time, and they say the right things to hit our pain points: cheap, easy, done for you, quick, 90 days, fast results, and we buy it. And then we end up wondering, or even saying things like, nothing works for me. When in reality, you get to start taking ownership over the things that you consume, both on social media and with your wallet. Okay? So what does it look like to be a conscious consumer? A conscious consumer takes ownership. Like, I take full ownership over the fact that my very first business coaching program, if I had done a little bit more research, I would have learned that it was not for me. That community was not for women like me. But I was so quick and so eager to make money. And I was also a newbie to this. So I spent it. Lesson learned. But I took ownership over it. And now before I hire someone, I go balls deep into their content. I see if who they are resonates with who I want to be. And even if we're not on the same page, do they have the tools that I do? Then we go from there. I don't just make impulsive purchases, especially when it comes to hiring a coach. Taking ownership, researching, and then finally being a conscious consumer is paying attention to how you feel, right? Loving yourself enough to be patient. If you have signed up for something, if you are doing something that if you check in with yourself, it does not feel good, right? If watching this live right now makes you feel bad instead of challenging you, then I'm not the right person for you to be consuming, right? If the stuff that I talk about, let's say you're super religious and the stuff that I talk about, you don't see it as a challenge, you see it as a threat to who you are. I'm not here to argue religion with you, right? Maybe you should go processes and whose views look more like that of your own. So this is what I mean when I say being a conscious consumer. I was on the phone, and this is my last, I'll wrap it up. I was on the phone yesterday with my, where the hell is this story going? I was on the phone with my homegirl, and basically like business partner. We'll be partnering and doing some work together here. And we were talking about how my whole train of thought just went out the window. Oh my goodness, conscious consumers. In the meantime, I'm going to talk about how much my gums hurt. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I didn't talk to you guys about this. I've got some inflamed gums that, like, if I, it's pretty rough. We've been drinking ice water. We've been taking a couple Tylenols. Wait, no, not Tylenol. That's we need ibuprofen for anti-inflammatory. So we've been taking some of those. It's been rough. Okay, the thought has not returned yet. Conscious consumers, being patient enough to wait. I honestly do not remember what that thought was, but I was on the phone with the homegirl yesterday and we were discussing a lot of things. We were talking about partnerships. We were talking about something that had to do with this. And my God, I thought we had gotten over this. I thought we had gotten so much better at grabbing our thoughts. If I do remember, I'll leave it in the show notes. Oh, that makes me so sad. Well, anywho, in the meantime, till that thought comes up, I'm going to wrap it up here and come back to that thought if it does come back. March 27th through March 30th, guys. Mindset Makeover Magic Workshop. So what does that mean? That means that for 3 days, you're going to get to work with me. We're going to be in our little private community. I'm going to be taking you through some serious mindset coaching tactics. We're going to be identifying your mental and physical barriers, why you are stuck. Because the reason why we are where we are right now has everything to do with our belief system and what we believe to be true. So we're going to get deep and we're going to identify some of those things. And if you're in the workshop live, you can comment like you are now, except it won't be a podcast episode, and I'll stop and respond to those issues. You'll have nightly homework. There will be some hypnotherapy exercises for you to do. There will be some guided meditations. Workbooks will be going out. And then on the last day, on the fourth day, we're going to be having a vision board party where I teach you how to create a vision board that actually excites you enough for you to manifest it. And you'll also get the steps for what you need to do to sustain this change after you start seeing these things come to fruition for you. Now, cool part about this is it's a 4-day workshop. So if you sign up for all 4 days, it's 1-11-11 angel numbers. And if you sign up for the full 4 days, you get a freaking amazing surprise bonus at the end. And I can't wait to announce it for you guys. I'm freaking stoked for you. On the other hand, if you're like, I just need the vision board, I don't need the mindset work, which, okay, to each last day, the vision board workshop alone is $33. And if that's where you're at, shoot me a DM and I'll send you the special link for that. And then my last announcement is this. If you know someone that would benefit from this program, but is in a financial situation where they can't afford something like this right now, shoot me a DM and I will send you the link where you can sponsor somebody. So, I can't believe the idea did not return to me. I'm so sad. Anywho, I guess it wasn't meant to be. Thank you so much for tuning in today, guys. And I hope that you can use this information to move forward and be a conscious consumer. There's the idea. I remember it now. As we were hanging up, I wanted to send her a profile of a company that looks similar to hers, but is just a little bit further along. And I was like, I can see you doing this. I can see you doing this. And she looked at the page and she goes, I'm not going to follow them because I don't want to compare myself to them. In my head, I thought, oh my God, that's why I surround myself with women like this. She's self-aware. And that's why I had to unfollow a lot of accounts last year, because all I did was compare myself to these businesses, these women who have been doing this for years, decades, these women who have teams bigger than mine, these women who are not responsible for all of their social media like I am right now. So being a conscious consumer and knowing that some things, not everything is beneficial for you just because it looks pretty, just because it says cheap, just because it says done for you, and just because it seems super convenient does not mean that it is for you. Love yourself enough to be patient in the process. Love yourself enough to slow down and do the research and see if this is something that truly is for you. So once again, thank you guys for tuning in. If you're listening to the podcast, the show notes will have the links to join Mindset Makeover Magic, where this is going down March 27th through March 30th. And if you're wondering, Bonnie, why are we doing a vision board in March? Well, because I believe in being in alignment and not shoulding myself to death. And if I would have did this vision board workshop in December or should, right, it wouldn't have been in alignment. I was not in a place where I was ready to move into spring yet. And my my cycle, my energy naturally felt ready to actually end winter, when winter actually ended. So that was freaking dope. Yes, Laura signing up Friday. I love you, Laura. I love you so much, Laura. I can't wait to have you back in there. Laura is one of the people whose testimonies you'll be seeing a lot, actually, because she did the Boss Life Blueprint with me last year when we first launched. And the things that were taking place in her life so rapidly is a testament of what happens when you truly let yourself reprogram your belief system. So many people are stuck or starting over all the time, like the name of this thing, because you haven't done the background work. You're doing all of these little superficial things like I'll change this and I'll change that and I'll change a new laptop cover when you need a new hard drive. Like, cute. Now your computer looks cuter, but like you didn't fix the inner workings. I'm glad you thought it was amazing. Let me hop off of here now, guys. It has been a pleasure. You'll be hearing more about the workshop. We've already got a couple ladies signed up and in the Facebook group, so I'm super excited. Looking forward to doing this with you guys. You have no idea, and I'm even more excited about the bonus for those of you that come to all 4 days of the workshop. Peace. Love you. Coach Bond's out.